Epomaker is one of the emerging keyboard brands as of recent, and they've been making noise with their wireless mechanical keyboards that are just right for the budget. My experience with them has been two keyboards at the moment. One is the Epomaker EK68, and the second one is the Aula F75. Aula, if I'm saying it correctly, is a different gaming peripheral brand but appears to be shaking hands with Epomaker in releasing this keyboard. To give you a bit of a backstory, the EK68 from last year was easily my favorite due to the silent but tactile switches it provided, and it's also the keyboard that showed me the appeal of silent mechanical keyboards. As much as I love to use it as my daily driver, the lack of multimedia or function row made me go back to my Royal Clutch keyboard. But that changes today. This wireless mechanical keyboard is a step above the usual budget wireless mechanical keyboard you're used to seeing. Selling under $65 on Epomaker's website, or roughly 3,500 Philippine peso when converted, this is the best so far and is now my daily driver. There are three reasons why this is my main keyboard for both gaming and work: battery life, the switches, and the function row. So first is the battery life. My previous keyboard lasted 3 to 4 days before needing a charge, which should be fine for most of you. But to me, it felt like I was charging very often. The F75 carries a massive 4000 mAh battery cell, and this solves my problem. I've been using this one with Bluetooth and RGB lighting all the time, and it came to a point where it's been 2 weeks and I still haven't seen the keyboard hit the red level. The manual states that with the default lighting effect out of the box, the F75 shall last 17 to 18 hours. With no lighting, it shall be around 266 hours or 11 days. But honestly, it feels like I'm getting longer battery life than what's stated, because at this point, I'm about a month in using this keyboard, but I've only charged this once. Yep, just once. There is a little light strip beside the escape key which indicates the battery level. It seems to be blinking all the time, and I have not seen an option to change the lighting effect or turn it off completely, but it seems like a battery bar that goes down as the battery depletes. Second are the switches. This is a 75% gasket-mounted keyboard, hot swappable, featuring Leobog Reaper switches. They are of a linear type and are factory lubed, offering 36 grams to 56 grams of force when typing. They are light, but at the same time have some sort of pressure during the initial press. I'm not the type of person to rave about RGB in keyboards, but this specific switch comes with light diffusers to make the lights easier for the eyes for a more comfortable typing experience. Aula made this keyboard quieter by adding a 5-layer padding with a shock-absorbing internal design. As a result, here's how they sound. As far as my typing experience goes, I have no problems with this one. I initially thought that my hands would get tired after a couple of hours due to the pressure I felt when typing, but surprisingly, it wasn't the case. I also noticed the keycaps are stabler than the ones I used before, so the F75 are cherry profile double shot PBT with calibrated stabilizers, and they work as expected. The third is the function row. I love my functions row since I use shortcuts all the time, but at the same time, this is also a multimedia row. But unfortunately, they don't have the indicators on the keycaps. You have to take a look at the manual to see the function of each key. If there's one thing this keyboard could improve on if there's a next version, that would be it. But you could always buy another set of keycaps. Knobs are appearing to be common in keyboards nowadays, except this one has two modes, game mode and office mode. You can switch between the two by long pressing the knob, but the difference is when you're in office mode, it acts as a mute and volume knob, and when in game mode, it lets you cycle between lighting effects and adjust the brightness level. Just like any wireless RGB keyboard, this one has a ton of lighting effects and is adjustable as well. There are 3 ways to connect to the device: USB-C, Bluetooth, and 2.4 GHz dongle. Also, you can connect 3 types of devices: Android, Windows, and Mac. All in all, I love this keyboard. At this point, it sounds like there's no downside to owning this keyboard. Well, there are a few things to note. Aside from the lack of multimedia symbols on the keycaps, if part of your habit is resting your fingers on the keyboard, The switch is so light you probably won't notice that you're already pressing a key, and this often happens to me when I have my left hand resting. This next one is a nitpick at this point, but still worth pointing out, which is the knob. As much as I like this light blue color scheme, the knob feels cheap and looks cheap, but the entire build is great. This is all plastic and has a bit of weight to it, but I prefer plastic over metal because I won't ever get zapped by the plastic chassis. The F75 is also available in 2 more switches and 3 more colors, so make sure to check out their website for the best one for you. Let me know what you think about the Aula F75 if this is going to be your next keyboard. Drop a sub or like if you feel like supporting the channel, and as always, until the next one, stay safe.